buy with bits, you also need to manually unlock them. Otherwise, you're gonna make yourself look foolish in chat if you just drop the raw text line. I made myself look like a fool quite a bit. Yeah, and since I was a moderator and everybody paid attention to the green shield on the Blizz Heroes channel, everybody made fun of me, and I basically cried in a corner. Very sad times.
So first map is going to be Dragonshire. Also, something that is worth mentioning that I don't think we mentioned a lot. For personal unlock goals, for certain amounts that you put in for cheers, to any team, you can get a HGC, I think they're called meme packs. I can't remember what they were called in the end. Which I am also about to spam all of them because there you go.
Goodness.
These are the kind of things you can unlock, including a 1% core spray, a 1% core icon.
So now I know, Tetra, what you're doing while I'm talking. You're not paying attention to anything what I say. You're just preparing the spam. I like it.
In this case, I was. The spam is now done. So yes, there you go. But you can get those by heading, like we said, to the Heroes of the Storm Twitch page, the Blizz Heroes Twitch page, and
Yes!
bits. Rip
Yes, you can do that. I hope you got the reference.
I don't. I know what Yas is, but I don't know what the
Have you never watched the commercial where they actually advertised the cheer system for HGC?
Yeah.
Like when that hip announcer says, you know, cheer for your favorite team and support them financially during HGC, yada yada yada. Then the video basically shows that one person cheering with the message, "Yes."
Okay. Now I get it. I got it.
And I'm loving it. I spam it every single time I see it. I just can't help but do it.
I'm down. I like it a lot. Also, I do like the fact that we did get that. I think being grubby, because this is the one that we started throwing out the most. One of our emotes is actually in here, I believe, or one of the things that we started saying quite a bit, and that is Pleb Horse.
There we go. I like it.
Right down the bottom.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we go. Rip, Uther, and Genji, completely different bands to the last series we watched. Tassadar, on the other hand, very familiar to the last series that we watched.
Yeah, and keep in mind, guys, we're playing on the Kel'Thuzad patch today with, of course, Dedicated not being allowed himself. He's going to have to stay outside at least for another week.
Look, he has to find a cat sitter, okay? He's busy. He'll join when he's ready.
He's looking for Mr. Bigglesworth, who's hiding again under the closet or anywhere else. So, you know, but that doesn't change the fact that we get to see the newly reworked heroes. If the Chinese teams would finally pick one, like Leoric, Chromie, Lieutenant Morales, and of course the Jaina. I just can't believe that nobody sees the initiative here from the Chinese pro teams to be the first team who will get the chance to field the thick Dreadlord Jaina skin into battle. I would love it.
There's a chance, but once again, it's still a mage. Yes, the Ice Block early could be exceptionally useful, but you have to argue that there's a similar scenario for Kael'thas, where you can get a big shield if you're able to get enough bucks. It is very much a situation of, it's a situational pick still, whereas Leoric, brilliant on this map. Very good chance we could see him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Leoric is a fantastic soul laner on Dragonshire. He can dominate almost anyone you send against him. Keep in mind that his Wraithwalk also gives him exceptional mobility to really sneak in one of those shrines before his laning opponent. Also, I do want to highlight that the Wraithwalk build on Leoric with the Ominous Wraith and the Royal Focus at 13 and 16 has proven to be quite powerful, like reducing the enemy's damage, or every enemy's damage who he passes through, by 50% for 4 seconds is astounding, Tetra.
Well, this seems to be the build that is becoming the most popular for him, taking that Ominous Wraith and stuff like that, just Wraith walking into the backline, and it's actually meaning that March of the Black King is becoming more popular because you just Ominous Wraith into the backline, reducing all the damage, and then Wraith Walk back to your team. Not Wraith Walk, sorry, March of the Black King back to your team. So you get damage, healing, sustain, and damage reduction on the enemy team, all in 2 spells. Then you turn around and your Skeletal Swing at them and you Drain Hope, whatever you need. At level 20, you get the Drain Hope for everyone. It's insane how effective that combo is.
And the cool thing about March of the Black King that you mentioned here is, even if you don't land it perfectly, the fact that it's now a 50-second cooldown heroic ability makes it much more forgiving. And it's just brilliant. And as you said, with the Royal Focus and the Ominous Wraith, I think you need to hit 2 heroes, maybe 3. I'm not exactly sure on the numbers, but I think you need to hit 2 heroes with a skeletal swing, and you can have another Wraith Walk ready in an instant. So there's a lot of, a lot of synergy in Leoric's talent tree right now. I think it has a 14-second cooldown, the Wraith Walk, and you need to hit 2 people for a 7-second cooldown reduction each, right?
Yeah, hang on. It's what's the Wraith Walk increased duration? It's raw focus. Increases damage. Each hero hit by this skeletal swing, it reduces the Wraith Walk cooldown by 7 seconds.
Yeah, so you need to hit 2 heroes, which
yes,
should be doable.
Exactly.
Especially if you go for Ghastly Reach at level 7.
Absolutely. That is 100% a reasonable thing. I just got confused looking at Leoric's ability list, and I was like, wait, why is everything twice? And then I remembered they're all marked twice, once for life, once for death. Except for Wraith Walk, rip. And
there we go. Now let's actually get back on track here. Let's not get ahead of ourselves because Leoric hasn't even been locked in. Instead, we see a classic double support here on the side of TheOne, with Ariel being locked in and the Rhaegar on top. Those are 2 very powerful supports, and with Uther being neglected, or not really neglected, but banned out by TheOne, Soa is kind of in a pinchy situation here, because true, they do have a fantastic Kharazim player, Uncle G, you see him in the bottom right here, but Kharazim has struggled in the games before we saw today, especially against, heroes like Vala or Sonya. I think it could work, though, because there's not a lot of, poison damage that he could suffer from. No Kel'Thuz, almost said it correctly. Damn it. And I wouldn't hate the Kharazim. I think it's probably the most logical of options. Although, I would love to see the new Mami Morales maybe come in. Oh!
There she is! The Prophet!
So hey! I love you! I want to see a lot of Soa cheer in the chat right now if you have the emojis unlocked.
Yeah. Smoke him if you got him. Spam him in, guys.
There we go.
I'm trying to find it. Got too many cheers.
Now, that is really cool. So, we already talked about Leoric and the most likely build that we're probably going to see, unless China does their own thing again, which they're basically known for. What is new about Lieutenant Morales, for those of you who haven't really had the chance to test her out a lot? So, most importantly, Morales no longer has mana. She's now an energy hero, which means she no longer has to go back that often, but she also needs to use her resource a little bit more wisely because energy drains faster than mana. But, as a return, it also comes back faster than mana.
Indeed, it allows Morales to be potentially last less time in fights unless she's able to manage her energy gaining abilities, energy gaining talents, which she has a lot of very well. But it means that they can fight more often. You don't have to make Morales go back every single time. It is cool to see. So, like we said, a lot of her stuff has been changed as well. She no longer has Cleanse, as we mentioned during the previous matchup. And there are actually several different builds for Morales now, including a shield murdering build, which is one of my personal favorites and is really good. So I will personally argue that Blast Shield is probably the most important talent for current Morales.
The one at level 4?
Yeah, the grenade which gives energy and a shield.
Yeah, it's fantastic because the shield also lasts indefinitely, so it's not like it expires after 5 seconds. You're going to have it until it gets crushed by the enemy team, and it can stack up to 5 times, making it super good to keep her safe against burst initiations.
Exactly. I would argue that overall you can be fairly flexible with Morales' build as long as you take that. Level 1 is either clear or life support. Clear, which is reducing the grenade cooldown and increasing the area of it, and life support gives you energy for your safeguard. So I would argue those are the most important ones because you need to keep your energy up.
Yeah, you need to keep the energy up. That's going to be very important. But who's going to come out swinging here between Soa and TheOne? We're going to find out in a bit. Alright, and coming out here on the left-hand side, we have TheOne. And the roster consists of Hugo on that Sonya, Lucky plays a noob, Meng on the Rhaegar, Zyran on Ariel, and Hehe plays the Vala.
Whereas on the other side, it is going to be start over again. Faye on the new Leoric, Uncle G on the new Morales, TY on Tassadar, Spark BZ on Arthur's, and Molly is going to be playing Lunara. And there is a pleb horse from Uncle G. Pleb skin, pleb horse, new hero. Or new rework, anyway.
They're just doing it for the fans out there, you know, so you get to spam that pleb horse emoji if you cheered
Already
well enough. Already on it?
So there's a good route already on Zavala.
Tetra, can you do me a favor and basically just check out your latency, because I had a slight stutter, but I'm sitting at 8 seconds.
Yeah, I just refreshed it because I also had the stutter, also on 8.
Perfect. Perfect synchrony. There we go.
Nice. So, we're already seeing Morales going for that level 1 talent, the life support, getting the energy straight away. Level 4 could even will likely be going for maybe Trauma Trigger. That's one time I will say Trauma Trigger potentially has some decent value here, because as much as you really need energy, you also need to not die. So, Blast Shield or Trauma Trigger are the options there. Leoric, on the other hand, not going for that cooldown on the swing, which we've seen a lot of people go for. Instead, going for the Ossian Renewal, which was a level 7 talent, has now been moved to level 1, allowing him to heal for 30% of his health, and Regen Globes lowering the cooldown.
Yeah, the cool thing about Ossian Renewal here, of course, on a map like Dragon Shower, is the fact that you get to collect a lot of Regen Globes, simply due to the fact that the distance between the lanes is very short. Also, there's plenty of mercenary camps for you to grab, so I definitely like this choice. It's either this one or, as you said, the Consume Vitality on the swing, reducing the cooldown a little bit, also restoring health for enemy heroes hit with it. So, very cool thing. I'm not sure what to think of life support just yet. I would have loved to see the grenade build in action, which is normally the one I favored just a little bit. But of course, I want to be proven wrong here, and I want to see how strong the life support can be. Beautiful grenade. Speaking of grenading things out here, almost getting the kill on Hehe here. Molly, though. Hey, actually, Molly is not playing Vala nor the Greymane. I think it's the first time him playing the Lunara, isn't it?
No, I don't think it is. I think he has played it once before.
Okay.
He does have a bit of a lower hero pool than a couple other heroes, but he's very much on the if it ain't broke, don't fix it heroes. Morales does in fact go for that shield, going for the blast shield here, which gives her energy and a self shield, so that's good. Is in fact going for what we predicted with the full energy regen build, whereas Leoric going for that going for Ghastly Reach.
Yep, in the meantime, Spark PC remains a patient Lich King. He does not chase the doggy all the way until his potential doom, because you don't want to do that. Sometimes it's important to let go. In the meantime, both teams share a shrine each. Now, level 4 for Leoric, as you said, is going to be that Ghastly Reach. Very important. And that already leans towards what we said earlier, right? Maybe go for the Ominous Wraith and the cooldown reduction on the Royal Focus. The Ghastly Reach allows you to land those Skeletal Swings more easily anyway, and you're going to be able to just rinse and repeat all day, every day.
It does also reinforce what we can already see, that he's not going to always be soloing in lane. Right now he is solo, but Arthas has been consistently rotating to assist him. As such, he does not require Kneel Peasants, which allows his Skeletal Swing to do 75 extra damage to minions and mercenaries. He's getting enough help, and also has enough wave clear with just the cleave auto attacks he already has to not require it too much. There's no way that Sonya's going to push up all the way to the towers and wreck the towers unless he is forced to leave the lane.
Now you basically saw the new talent of Lieutenant Morales in action. The grenade hit and provided a little bit of a shield to her base health. Really solid. And the more heroes you hit, obviously, the more value you're going to get from it. Up to a maximum of 5 heroes hit at the same time. Now, Lucky in trouble. Anubrek getting frozen by his Master Arthas. Takes a little bit of damage from the Death Coil, but remains safe and sound for now. In the meantime, Sonya was able to push back Leoric. I really want to take a look at this 1-1 situation in the top lane a little bit more. I really want to see how good the new Leoric is in a straight-up fight against Sonya in pro play.
Well, he has hit level 7 first, is going for the Hopelessness, the increased range, and I think that's pretty reasonable in the current matchup they're in. Is going to be wants to make sure he is getting the maximum amount of health possible in those fights, so getting that maximum range is going to allow him to drain Sonya a little bit more and to give her a little bit more trouble when it comes to laning. And also, didn't they change it so that the March of the Black King actually applies Talented
At level
Drain
20,
Hopes?
at level 20, when you take the Death March talent, you can get a talented version of your Drain Hope on nearby enemies, and that can be huge. I mean, there's many great level 20 talents available, especially the Burning Despair has seen a lot of play. Then, of course, the Spectral Leech is still a fantastic talent against high HP warriors, while we're having a little bit of a lag. Does it lag for you as well?
It did, yes.
Okay.
I'm refreshing now.
Yeah, same here. I'm sitting at 7. Nope, because we have a freeze. Sorry, guys.
I am loading.
I think we might have to refresh again. Yeah.
We're having issue. Okay, I'm up to 10. I'm up to 11.
That's I had to refresh again.
Yeah, I'm up to 11. Let me know if you what your.
No. Mine is lower now after I pressed pause and play again. So I'm 7.
Again.
I'm at 7.
Refreshing. But yeah, it didn't used to be. This lyric, the Death March, didn't used to be talented due to the
which made it terrible.
The burst. Yes, now it is talented, meaning that it combos this extra range. Also combos super well with that Death March, meaning he's going to be draining all the heroes a lot. Good stun onto Arthur's there. I'm 8, close enough.
Same here. I'm sitting at 8. I think it has stabilized after a little bit of an issue. Sorry guys, we're casting from a clean feed, so if there are stutters or freezes, there's nothing Tetra and I can do on our end. We just have to count on your patience, which of course Twitch chat has enough of, right?
So it's going to be stimmed. We do see the Martial Bat King. We also see Stim Drone. Stim Drone.
I like it.
It's going to be fun. Not going for that safety medevac, which has new upgrades. Bye-bye here. Getting taken out here. And the first Dragonite going over to Soa. Very snubbling out of control very quickly. We haven't talked about Morales level 7 quickly. She went for the Vanadium plating, meaning that if someone is stunned, then the duration of the safeguard is paused, and is then increased, but gets an extra 25 armor.
Exactly, which is really cool. So it almost is like a mini version of Guardian of the Ancient Kings from Uther. So
yeah,
whenever
because there's enough stuns actually. Nubarak has enough.
Anubarak Sonya Spear if timed really well. No Rain of Vengeance, I think, for that very reason from Vala. She doesn't want to proc that unnecessarily, and the Strafe is still a very viable heroic ability choice, but especially against that Anubarak, as Tetra said, it's just so good. Beautiful Crystal Aegis here to interrupt the pun from the Dragon Knight.
Faye dropping low, has already used March, able to get out, very barely though, was dropped super low. So was Rhaegar there, he was also able to escape. Ariel, by the way, went for the globes and cost reduction to her heal, coming in at level 7, not going for any of the other energy generation talents.
Yeah, there we go.
Hope generation, as it is for her.
So very cool to see. We've seen a large variety of Ariel builds, especially with that level 7 talent as of late. Sometimes you go for the Glimmer of Hope, sometimes you go for the Slow after your Detainment Strike, and sometimes you go for the damage increase. So no matter which level 7 talent you pick on Ariel, you're always going to be fine. And that's basically what Blizzard wanted to achieve, right? Away from that, we can only pick that one talent up to, we can basically go for every choice here.
Exactly. So Siege Giant's going to try and assist in clearing out these bruisers, but there's also Siege Giants on the side of the one here, putting pressure onto these towers, which are probably going to drop here. Valor's assisting. First tower goes down. Yeah, that bruiser camp getting some decent value, and the Siege Giants assisting from behind.
Yep, very true. So I just had another lag, so I'm just going to double check real quick.
Okay, I'm still on 8.
Nope, I'm not. So we're going to refresh.
Oh dear. Okay, but while you're refreshing, current talents, System Shock, the damage reduction coming in for Morales. Enemies hit by the grenade do 30% less damage for 4 seconds, which is going to combo quite well with the Ominous Wraith coming in for Leoric, who is dead, unfortunately. So for future reference, it's going to combo very well. But yeah, that is all the damage reduction builds coming in, and that is quite unique. And of course, unfair advantage for Lunara, combo with all those slows from the Auric.
Yeah, the slows from Leoric, the slows from Arthas. All in all, like if you take a look at the raw talent synergy that Soa has really brought to the table here, it's amazing. Like we see beautiful synergy between the frontliners and Lunara. We see, as you said, beautiful synergy between Morales and the Leoric with so much damage reduction. Of course, just like armor, damage reduction can only stack up to 75. So you can't really prevent 100% of the damage dealt by the entire team, which would be insane. But already, so much damage debuff. And I'm really interested in seeing how Soa is going to utilize that. Fei now going in, joined by Tassadar. Stimtoned Arkan, baby, let's go!
Yeah, that is potentially a bit early, but look at all that damage. They're going to try and make something happen. Good grenade on Meng, driving him into the backline. Sonya is getting wrecked here. Cocoon getting popped quite quickly, but SparkBC is dropping low. Dimensional Shift having to be popped. Death March getting some good value here as Faye trying to drain Hugo, and it looks like this is going to turn into an escape route here. Aegis having to be dropped. Both teams disengaging. Hugo dropped low, coming back in for another whirlwind. Was this too greedy from Soa? Yes, it is. 2 members getting dropped, and the one taking the fight.
Hugo once again being the man who made all the difference in that team fight. Just like on the Odin, he didn't care about anything the enemy team had and brought to the table. There were no interrupts at all while he spinned to win, and that was just beautifully done. They were close to killing the Sonya, and I think if Sonya had fallen there, the entire team fight would have gone differently. But look at the cooldowns. The Ancestor healing is not or wasn't even used, so they probably could have used that as well in the team fight. And you have to worry about Soa, because if you don't stop that Hugo from tearing your backline apart, you're never going to win a team fight.
Yeah, that went pretty badly, where it was a situation of Sonya was Aegis, and the issue they had is Lunara came too far forward. She then put herself in danger. The Whirlwind healed Sonya back enough that she was not in lethal range anymore, and Lunara didn't have a correct, wasn't in a favorable position, had to make an unfavorable leap, and that was her death.
Exactly. She basically had to do it, otherwise she would have died anyway. So if you have the chance between dying and dying, you might as well die in a way that at least inflicts a little bit of damage to the enemy team. And that's why the death by Lunara looked a little bit silly, but in the end it was nothing that she could have prevented. Now, the Spark BZ tank, Arthas, in trouble.
Speaking of me being corrected. Arthas gets out thanks to his Army of the Dead there. That's still a long cooldown, 70 seconds without that. Dragon Knight, though, going to expire, and that's probably going to put a halt onto at least a little bit of the one push, maybe this top lane, but there's enough people up here now to probably prevent that from instantly going down. So this is okay for Arthas. He's got about, I'd say, 30 more seconds before the one attempts to do something else, or at least something else as a team. So he should have his heroic back within time before the next team fight, at least.
And keep in mind that despite the fact that the one just dominated that last team fight very heavily, the game is still dead even. Like, there are no keeps down just yet. 16 is now available for Soa as well. Leoric does go for the Royal Focus here, by the way, just like we predicted. We see the Double Storm coming in here for Tassadar. And interestingly enough, we don't see the extended healing beam from Morales, which I would have expected. We see First Responder, which means the more energy Morales has, exactly while above 70 energy, the healing beam's efficiency is increased by 25%.
Now that's interesting. So you think that extended care?
Yeah, I thought the extended range would be nicer, so Morales could stay out of harm's way.
I would have said shield sequencer, so you could get more energy and just get the extra protection. So it turns out, if all 3 of us, me, you, and the pro player, have different opinions, it probably means that's a pretty decent talent tier. If all 3 are value.
I'm really excited to see how this, increased healing is going to come into play, because you very quickly drop below 70 energy, like 70% energy. It happens very frequently. So Uncle G,
but it's burst healing when you're against a Nubarak.
It is very nice burst healing. That is true. That is very true.
Yeah, and if you have enough energy regen, you can do well. She's gone for double energy gen with the first 2 talents, so that can help quite a bit. Actually, even potentially even more than the first 2, because technically the extra duration with stuns will mean that she gets more energy thanks to the level 7 talent.
And
there's
more
some good logic here. There's a little good synergy. I'm liking it.
No, I definitely see your logic behind the shield sequencer. Like, if you go for that life support level 1, and of course for the level 7 stun, anti-stun, then having the ability to cast 2 Ws, just in case one doesn't land perfectly, is very huge. So the logic is definitely there. It's just that I think, unfortunately, Uncle G went, in my opinion, for the weakest talent. But I would like to be proven wrong, because we have yet to learn many a thing about the newly reworked heroes like Morales.
Yeah, like we said, Morales has a lot of energy generation. Let's see if she's able to make it work in her favor. Right now, Cocoon having to be popped. Unfortunately, Morales, no safety medevac. That's the issue with the current builds going forward. Very aggressive moves here out of the one as they look for another kill here, and it looks like we are going to see SparkBZ drop down. And that is very nicely done by the one. Beautiful hard engage, able to execute that to perfection.
Yeah, so it was completely out of position here, unfortunately. Morales did get caught by that Cocoon, just like, you know, a good Anub'arak player should use it. And as you said, there was not really a whole lot she could have done because she didn't have that safety medevac to really get out of harm's way. Also, the fact Morales was the one that died first meant that there was no stim-droned Arkan, which is basically the heaviest hitting target in the lineup of SOA. I mean, it probably won't get them a whole lot, the one that is, because I think... No, wait, is Leoric not going to take this shrine?
He's thinking about it, but
okay, now they could get a Dragon Knight.
They're going to try. Nara will deny this, at least for a while. Eats a spear, though. Oh my god, that damage. And that is Molly out of here. And that's going to be a Dragonite. Unless Leoric can win this fight 2 versus 1, he cannot.
All Molly had to do was not getting hit by that spear. The moment he got hit, he lost this poke war in the middle. If he had dodged it, well, it would have been so nice. They could have potentially bought more time for their allies to revive. March of the Black King coming in. Cocoon is good, though.
Cocoon is good, but Lucky taking a lot of damage. Ancestral lands, though. Morales getting chunked by the DK, having to safeguard. Dead by the via punt as TY makes his way behind the wall. Leoric's alone. SparkBZ is still in danger here. Good CC, and he's dropped 2. TAS, the solo defense, 40 seconds for the revive. Dragonite available. The one crashing through. This is likely going to be a 1-0.
Yeah, not even Hazuobs on a Tasser could defend this core from falling. Hugo is angry on the Dragon Knight, and guess what? After 16 minutes, this thing hits like a truck. The entirety of the one also saying hello, and they take game number 1 here very, very convincingly. SOA's trust in those 2 new heroes was not enough, but it felt to me like they were constantly getting caught out of position. Their team fighting wasn't really as strong as we're used to seeing from them, so I don't think it was the draft per se. It was more like their execution of it being very, very sloppy. Don't you agree?